just ahead. If you're a St. Louis football fan and you're looking to make a jump to becoming a Tennessee Titans fan, Palmer Alexander of the NTheZone Network will show you how to do it as Sports Sunday continues after the break. What a way to end the game. A little bang-bang play. The Orioles stopping the Rays at the plate to strengthen their playoff hopes, and that is our News 4 play of the week. Time now to continue the football conversation with a man who, folks, you've seen this man over the last 20 years, whether you've read him, whether you've seen him, or whether you've heard him. He's been on Sports Talk Radio for quite a while now. Palmer Alexander III, 12 years at the St. Louis American. Now he is one of the founders of the NTheZone Network, a national podcast. Palmer, can't thank you enough for being on this set.
Thank you so much, man. I'm glad that you allowed me in your house.
Oh, man, you were always welcome in this house. I'm glad you're here. We've got a lot to get to. And I tell you what, you've got an exciting venture going with fans, taking them up to Tennessee for football games. We're going to get to that in a bit. But I want to talk to you about the podcast, and a national podcast. And of course, you've spent a number of years around here on Sports Talk Radio, but you've kind of gone into the future. Tell me about what you got going with your listeners.
Yeah, NTheZone is something that was created with myself and Arlington Lane. And basically, I just use the same principles that I've learned, over the years, work with so many great talents in this market, and having an opportunity to create a different sound. St. Louis already had this sound. Now within the zone, creating a new sound. And it's so much fun because I don't have to answer to nobody. It's like, the old saying is that either you're renting space or you're not renting space. I'm not renting space in the zone. So we have a lot of, a lot of flexibility in the things that we're able to do. I open the show with a monologue, and that's the signature of the show. And Arlington does a great job of making things sound the way it is in my head. What you hear on the air in the zone, that's exactly how it sounds in my head.
Well, I know that a lot of people are excited about this, and I want to ask you, too, about what your listeners are talking about right now in terms of football, because obviously there's a void here with the Rams being gone. So what are the listeners telling you about football or the lack of football here right now?
Well, majority of our listeners, they've kind of turned to the Titans. That's become their team of choice. But there's still some Rams leftover bitterness, which is understandable.
Sure.
And ironically, a lot of our listeners also are in LA because they want to hear what we're saying about them. I know, but that's, sometimes they get a little upset or whatnot, but that's okay because this is our opportunity to be able to vent, and kind of exercise those demons that are still inside us.
So, of course, there's some Rams fans / St. Louis fans that are looking for football. So you're talking about where do they go? So I know that here at Channel 4, we're televising Chiefs games, and then some people may go up the road to Chicago. I'm not sure how much that fits because you kind of got that Cubs-Cardinals thing, not sure. You got Indianapolis 4 hours away, and then you're talking about Tennessee, and you've got a great venture going. Tell us about it.
Yeah, basically, one of our listeners, Lori Brown, she reached out to me, and she said, hey, we're developing a relationship with the Titans. And so I was kind of not sure about going this direction because I consider myself an NFL fan free agent. So I reached out to the Titans. I talked with Clayton Sanders of the Tennessee Titans, and we had some dialogue, some real positive dialogue. I had my sponsor, Melantha Witherspoon, give him a call, and then all of a sudden now we started developing a package now. So we have this bus trip that we created. It's a quick turnaround trip, and it's just for people to get a chance to get out of St. Louis for a weekend. It's a marquee game with the Titans and the Indianapolis Colts.
And what is that? And that's the Colts and the Titans?
Yeah, that's the Colts and the Titans on October 23rd. So it's a big event, especially for us as in the zone where we're really stepping out there. And it's great that we're starting to kind of galvanize more people and getting them more involved in a trip of this magnitude.
I think any time that you're looking at switching allegiances, you probably want to see, okay, what do they have? Is there star power? Marcus Mariota is one of the building blocks. He had a big game today and a big win at Detroit.
Absolutely, and one of the throw-ins of the trip is an autographed yearbook from Marcus Mariota. So something else, against another great throw-in by the Titans, and they didn't have to do that. How sometimes when you start in a business and you're reaching out to these big companies, and sometimes they give you the brush off, but the Titans have been so sincere about courting St. Louis fans, and they've been doing it the right way.
I know you and Arlington are doing a fantastic job with NTheZone. I can't thank you enough for coming in here, and we're going to be checking you out, man.
Oh, I appreciate it. Thank you so much for letting me into your home, man.
You better believe it. Chatoa.
You're in the zone now.
That is Palmer Alexander from NTheZone right here on Sports Sunday.